Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining me. In the moments ahead, I'm going to share with you some of the breakthrough moments that our clients are going through as they're learning how to coach. So what I want to show you is that everybody, including you, including me, we've all had mental and emotional blocks, and things hold us back. Some people feel a lot of shame and a lot of embarrassment about the things that have happened in their life. These life events don't determine what you can achieve in the future. If you allow them to hold you back, they will hold you back. But let's have a look inside some of the minds of the clients that we're working with right now. There's 5 mental and emotional blocks that are holding our clients back right now. The first one here, we've had a client who's experienced sexual assault. Another client is held back by family conditioning. I think some of you will know what I mean. Another client has been told that he has bipolar. Somebody else has a lot of negative self-talk, and then one of the clients is struggling with self-love. So with sexual assault, what happens is this is a significant emotional event. Sexually assaulted people often have lower levels of self-worth and self-esteem because these events are so traumatic. And what happens is when these events have happened to you in your life, you keep thinking about them over and over and over again and ask yourself questions, why did it happen to me? And what happens, we become a victim of our own thinking. What we know about how the mind works is that if you keep thinking about something over and over and again, that mental thought pattern becomes very strong. Imagine this, you go to the gym and you start picking up a weight over and over and again, and your physical muscle starts to grow. When you constantly think about events in your past over and over and again, that mental muscle becomes very strong. As you move out forward into your future, this thing here acts like a brake on your performance. It holds you back and keeps you rooted in the past. In order for you to move forward and to have higher levels of performance and better emotional intelligence, you need to neutralize the negative emotions that surround this memory. This client will have anger. This client will have fears. This client could also have sadness and guilt and shame. And once we neutralize that, our client will move forward. The most interesting thing, our client said that this event causes her to feel that she's got a bowling ball, something heavy weighing her down in her gut. And that's organ-based language. And when we have things that hold us back in the area of self-worth and self-esteem, it always impacts the gut. Secondly, one of our clients has been subjected to family conditioning. Her father had laid out her life for her. Her father made the life plan for her. He said, this is what you've got to do on your first job. Then you've got to go have an apprenticeship. And he'd mapped out the entire life for the daughter. But now she's an adult, she's still subjective to this family conditioning because she feels that she's making a mistake because she's not doing what her father wanted to do. She even had to leave her own country to get freedom from the family's conditioning. Now, this thing goes everywhere with us until we deal with it. But at the NLP Coach Training and Certification, we're going to show our client proven tools and strategies how to neutralize that family conditioning. Here's a story. They did a survey on the American prison system. They surveyed both men and women, and what they discovered was 95% of those people in prison were told by their parents that they'd end up in prison one day. 95%. That's how powerful our parents' beliefs are when they're projected onto us. They can either work for us, or in that case, they can hold us back. Another client was diagnosed with bipolar. After speaking with this client, we realized that he'd developed a minor personality to handle and control his post-traumatic stress disorder. It was a coping mechanism, but unfortunately the medical system has put him into a box and forced him to take medication. But he knows it's a thinking problem. See, when you take that tablet, when you take that pill, it adjusts the chemical levels in your body. It is not a smart pill. It doesn't change the way that you think. See, what happens with your thoughts? Your thoughts are electric and they run down through your nervous system. As they run down through your nervous system, they hit your synaptic gap. And in this moment here, your thoughts become chemicals. So imagine if you have thoughts of stress, thoughts of fear consistently. Those thoughts of stress and fear and negative impulses going through your nervous system, they hit the synaptic gap and they become negative chemicals in the body. And then what happens on the other side, we start to have more negative thoughts and we end up in this negative thought and feeling loop. But that medication does not change the thinking. It only changes that chemical. So our client here, he's going to be able to remove that thought and that identification of being bipolar. He's going to change the way he thinks, which will change the way that he feels. Now this client here, she told us today that she has thought patterns. She thinks thoughts and says things to herself that she would never say to another human being. When she realized how negative these thought patterns were, she began to cry. Now, what we know about your body, if there's a negative emotion inside of your body tries to get rid of this negative emotion. And through tears, we can get rid of these negative emotions. We also get rid of them through perspiration. We also get rid of them through urination and defecation. All negative emotions inside of your body are acidic. And what happens in an acidic environment, cancer can grow. What we know about people who are purely positive is they have an alkaline body. And cancer cannot live in an alkaline environment. So if you want to be healthier, you also need to get rid of this negative self-talk that creates illness and disease inside the body. Now the final one. One of our clients realized that through drug abuse and drug addiction in the past, he stopped loving himself. He dealt with the root cause of the problem. And then he said he started to love himself once again. And he had solved that first problem at the very basic level. And he solved that self-worth problem right down here. But what he said today was he's realized that he doesn't love himself enough. But what I showed him was he effectively dealt with that self-love at this level, but he's on an upward spiral. So think about this. If your first job you earned $50,000, what tends to happen is you have an income glass ceiling of $50,000. Your goal to earn $50,000 actually limits you. And what you have to do is you have to remove that income glass ceiling so you can rise up to the next level. So you can get to $100,000. But when you get to $100,000, that same goal holds you back. So you've got to lift that glass ceiling and break through it once again. And it was the first time today that our client realized that he actually did love himself at that first level, that he did love himself at the second level, and here, over the following 4 days, he's going to learn to love himself again. What I've learned over more than a decade in this field is that all negative emotions are an illusion, and all negative emotions are a subset of love. Once you eliminate all those negative emotions, you can start to increase your level of self-worth and self-esteem. And self-worth and self-esteem is measured by how much you like and respect yourself and how much you love yourself. All of these clients here have mental and emotional blocks. All of the people out here, all of the people watching this have mental and emotional blocks, but only so few people will actually ever deal with them. Those people who do deal with them, they'll actually be free from the past. They'll start to be more successful and they'll have a positive outlook on life. And once they have that positive outlook, it turns into a positive nature and they start to see all the possibilities, all those things that they could ever achieve. Now, this is what I've learned. If you let go of those self-limiting beliefs, those self-sabotaging behaviors, if you change the way that your mind thinks about these things of the past, then you're free from the past. So ladies and gentlemen, if you feel that your past is holding you back, if there's a mental or emotional block that prevents you from getting what you want, then I'd like to speak with you personally. And I'd like to share with you 3 key ideas that you can apply immediately to neutralize any mental or emotional block that's ever held you back. So what I'd like you to do now, go ahead, send me a message today, and I'll speak to you in the week ahead.